Well, today, late in life, I have achieved something I have long desired, and that's a way to amplify my voice so that I can talk to people and tell them what I really think. And you will be blessed by it. Can I get an amen? Come on, folks. Can I get an amen? Remember that when Becky tells us about the proposals that you have to decide, okay? So the Reverend Becky Newman and I have been co-chairs of the Constitution and Canons Committee this year. So we're honored to be standing before you to represent the committee and to present the report that we have. Now, I'm sure you've read the report, but if it's okay with you, I'll highlight a few aspects of it that I think are important. The first section has to do with the purpose and composition of the Constitution and Canons Committee. The Constitution and Canons of the Diocese matter to us for two fundamental and dynamic reasons. They express how we, as people and institutions of the diocese, live together. And they shape how we, as people and institutions of the diocese, live together. When the Constitution and canons work well, we work well together. So it's with this in view that the Constitution and Canons Committee serves the diocese in two basic ways. One, we review the canons for clarity, consistency, and suitability. We're making recommendations to change the canons when we think they're necessary. The other way is that we ensure that the diocesan constitution canons conform with the provincial constitution and canons, because that's one of our chief duties, to make sure that the diocesan constitution canons conform to the provincial. Now, the committee itself consists of, I think this year it was 12 members of local churches and clergy in the diocese. So if you were on the committee and you're here today, would you please stand just so we can recognize you, because you did a lot of work. So I know there. Thank you all, and the list of them is in the report. They deserve a lot of credit for their intelligence and diligence in the work that was done this year. Let me comment just for a moment on how we went about our work, because this will give you a picture of what we did and how much work went into it. As a whole committee, we met monthly 7 times. So beginning in February, we met once a month as a whole committee until August. But we did most of our work between the monthly meetings. So between the monthly meetings, we subdivided into subcommittees. So everybody served on at least one subcommittee. And the subcommittees would meet during the month looking very closely at the matters at hand. So there's a lot of work done between the monthly meetings. Then the subcommittees would report to the full committee at the monthly times. And the whole committee then would be able to hear those findings and discuss those findings. So everybody on the whole committee stayed apprised of everything that was going on. Now, you've read in the report a summary of the matters we reviewed at length and the decisions we made. From all of the work that we did, we decided on 2 proposals to amend 3 canons, and that's what Becky's going to address now.
There we go. And is this okay? Good. Okay. I'm referring now to the pages that are stapled together in the corner that say Constitution and Canons Committee Report, etc. You might want to have that in front of you, because I'll just be referring to the text that's there. It is color-coded, which is very helpful. All right. I'm now dealing with proposal number 1. You'll find that on the front page. It starts off with the address where this actually lives in the canons. Skipping over that, it comes under the section entitled Duties, which refers back to duties of vestries and vestry members. Last year at Synod, there was an amendment to the canons that changed the language that had been in the original canon regarding treasurers and their responsibility to be bonded to a certain amount. It turns out that's just not the way that industry worked last year. A change was made in the language to state that the treasurer has the responsibility to ensure covering ministry personnel dishonesty and/or insurance covering theft of money and securities in such amount as the vestry from time to time shall determine. It was a change in language. This year, the proposal, which is under proposed text, about a third of the way down the page, takes the canon that was there and simply adds the language that is in red print on your page. Leaves the canon as it was, but adds the language and ministry personnel dishonesty and/or theft of money and securities. This is being added to the duties of the vestry rather than having it just reside in the treasurer. That is now broadened so that the vestry is also responsible for ensuring that appropriate insurance is in place for the congregation regarding the handling of monies. That's the proposal before you. Do we have any questions around that? Okay, seeing none.
All in favor of adopting the amendment, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, the ayes have it.
Oh, we love it when things go so smoothly.
Amen.
Turning that first page and looking at the back of it, you'll see a number 2. This is the second proposed amendment to the canons, and it's a twofer. There are 2 parts to this amendment, and they go together, so we will be voting upon those together. Okay, again, the address at the top of the page, this comes under officers of the diocese, the treasurer, and you will see there the proposed language in the second part of the page. The first part is the original language, the treasurer shall be bonded in such an amount. That language is being replaced with, in the bottom paragraph, the diocese shall have insurance covering ministry personnel, dishonesty, and/or insurance covering theft of money and securities in such amount as the finance committee from time to time shall determine. The treasurer, ... Okay, so it's changing the language to be consistent with current practice, which is to secure insurance and not to be talking about people being bonded. To go with that, on the second page, the neighboring page, there is another proposed change, and it's just to keep things in the canons in alignment with each other. Okay, so under proposed text, you'll see that there simply is a red line that has been added to what was the original language. This is coming under the duties of the finance committee. So it's not simply the treasurer that now has this responsibility, but the finance committee. The finance committee also, ... to include insurance covering ministry personnel dishonesty and/or insurance covering theft of money and securities. So the treasurer and the finance committee together both have responsibility for making certain that that type of insurance is in place for the diocese. Are there any questions? Seeing none.
All in favor for the adoption of this amendment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it.
Here we go.
Can we thank them?